especially with some of the TikTok technology that emerged.
That's I almost swore again. That stuff is crazy.
Anyways, we can follow on through here. As expected, that vibe pick I was talking about, locked in for EG and responded to by the Wukong. Talked about it already, but Black Cleaver, plus a lot of these bruiser items, while they did make a concentrated effort in taking out Omnivamp, they actually buffed a lot of the bruisers by adding ability haste onto things, onto a lot of the bruiser items as well in compensation.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them are in a really good spot. Wukong and Vi were already in good spots. They just got a little bit of a nudge here as well. I think Vi can make a little bit more of the early passes because of the Vault Breaker Flash.
Yeah.
You can pretty much always at least trade Flash with somebody, whereas Wukong, as stated, definitely prefer to get the level 6 first, but can definitely scrap for himself too.
Yeah, it's something like what we saw, I think at the top of the day, where Closer burned Flash on Jensen, and it didn't look pretty, but it got the job done, and they repaid the gank tenfold when Dirksen hit level 6. So it's going to be all about where can Inspire hit first. And if you take inspiration from the previous game where they got that early level 1, make it towards the bot side of the map.
All right, I think here with the Jackson Fiora ban, we are setting up for some more Ksante gaming as well. TSM with the double bans there. Meanwhile, EG a little bit more worried about the mid lane here. Don't want Maple scaling too much. Maple, Kassadin, Azir, both off the list for him. And one of the biggest matchups coming into this series is mid jungle. Inspired in Jojo, one of the most hyped mid jungle in the LCS of all time. There's that Ksante I already mentioned, goes without saying with those super protection bans. But Bugi and Maple are the shining star here for TSM. If this mid jungle is successful, then this team will be successful. So this is a really good test going up against some LCS God Squad here with Inspired Jojo.
It's where the rock of TSM needs to be for this season or this year, if they, assuming nothing changes on this roster as the year progresses. Now, Gwen, you've been hyping up this counter pick pretty much all day, even in the green room. We got to see a little bit on one of the games, and now Ssumday gets piloted into the Ksante.
All right, definitely have full faith in Ssumday here on the Gwen. The best, in my opinion, pick into the Ksante. And we're going to throw down. Okay, it is going to be another one of the Ryze games. Roaming to the Gwen, always very effective, but it is double AP. So double AP versus Ksante is nice since Ksante always wants to do Iceborne Gauntlet, but Iceborne Gauntlet was changed to be full armor. And so this kind of forces the Ksante to be a little more honest with his early build here. Less you have to deal with a roaming Ryze plus a Gwen, a lot of AP damage there.
Right.
So you can't really rush into your preferred item.
On the flip side, Maple, another classic from him, it's that Galio. Not many other mid laners are really taking a champion like him, but it's once again the idea and the core for this TSM roster is Bugi and Maple need to be moving on the map together. And what a combo to have Cyclone into Hero's Entrance.
And actually, if you were watching earlier today when we had Sven on the caster desk, he brought up that Galio right now in scrims is also one of the premier counter picks into specifically Ryze, which it has been for a while. You know, the roaming, matching, plus the lane is quite nice. And Maple plays a ton.
To create a lot of space for you. We're going to see how well it comes to fruition as we saw the Draven lane not go to the winning side in our last game. Maybe Neo can be the changer here.
And we get the Ghost Flash Galio. This is the most annoying Galio. Definitely look out for either mid laner. If you call jungle, help push out the wave here is a really, really big bonus to your move timer. You can get that mid laner coming with you. Even pre-6, Ghost Galio has huge roaming effect. So jungle battle here is really interesting because, you know, how much attention they pay towards mid lane is going to have a really big effect as well. Both Jojo and Maple. If you get any sort of leverage getting to have that roam as well towards bottom lane. So looks like it's going to be top side start here for Bugi on the Wukong, but bottom side start here for Inspired.
Interesting ward from Maple. I imagine that... Oh, hold up.
Everybody wants to do the top lane jungler invades now.
And now everyone has to adapt. We're going back to a meta where top laners are forced to peel for their jungler, and
The brush camp, the brush camp.
I mean, this is not the start you want to have as Draven. It's a great trap from FBI and Vulcan. Both heal, flash, burn. There's no flash because Neo realizes that he was doomed either way. First blood goes over to EG.
Oh, the Dravens are not loving it today. It is not a good day to be a Draven main. The Lucian camp have been just monstering on them. That is no barrier for him. Neo did save his flash because then he's like, all right, I'm dead. Realizes it, saves it. And it is 3 summoner spells burned to the 2 on the side of TSM, but still such a big camp here in the brush. The classic, waiting for them as they walk through the river. And the focus fire there from FBI and Vulcan.
Yeah.
Cracking himself up.
I'm just curious now from TSM, like, as Bugi, are you compelled to make your way towards the bottom side of the map and give some pressure relief just so that Neo can safely get some of the CS that's about to crash into his tower?
You kind of are, but also one of the oldest rules of jungling is you try and avoid the losing lanes. So what you would rather do is what I was kind of trying to hype up earlier, which is play through mid lane and get your mid laner to come down as well. If you can win the mid jungle, then you can actually make your mid jungle spill over to bottom lane and bail out bottom lane that way. Problem is, Inspired jumping on that Raptor camp, steals it away from Bugi here. Really good cross play.
No, doesn't have much mana left. Has to flash out of the taunt, but it's still max range. Inspired is here to maybe salvage it, but TSM still fire back. And don't tell me they actually make the play on the Inspired. Wow! Bugi doesn't die either.
Oh, Inspired flashes out before one more auto try and finish off Bugi, and that's the mid jungle. Raafaa, that's exactly the play. They win the mid jungle 2v2. Inspired's not done though. Fixes up this crab while Ssumday chases solo away from it. But they are able to get the kill on the mid lane, and it's double summoners instantly forced. So Maple now has flash advantage on this Galio. That could be their way, to try and get a cash in for Draven on the bottom side, because since Neo died so early, he's actually able to get back. I mean, as soon as FBI picks up the majority of this minion wave, they should be able to close that CS gap, but still definitely will be the target.
Just like you said, it's going to be down to Maple and Bugi to really create a pressure pivot, since Neo and Chime already kind of lost their footing early on. And just watch this again.
And this is why, with the ghost here for the Galio, able to get just enough range. Jojo flashes, but still in range. And Inspired got one auto, then flashed away. Didn't want to get bursted down with the 220 or so HP he still had. But that is such a heartbreaker, as Bugi lived with sub 20, down in the teens there. HP not able to burn him.
It's going to be all about how Solo positions his third Q on a Ssumday. Flown in, but great dodge from Ssumday. Now, looking ahead here, Maple and Bugi are going to have flash advantages over Jojopyun and Inspired. If Maple can get his way to level 6 ASAP and you make a play when you still have flash advantage, or you can just revisit mid lane because the bubble from Chime connects on a flashless Ryze, and it's just too damn easy for TSM. Cope, what year is this?
Say his name, Maple, baby. 2 kills on the Galio. The counter pick that was foretold by support King Sven made its way here. It is not even level 6 yet. Once Maple gets to level 6, the pain is really going to arrive.
FBI and Vulcan, better be careful. I hope everyone is communicating where Galio is at all times, because if he ever disappears from mid lane, you gotta back up. You gotta imagine that there's a giant rock monster coming your way.
This is a bold start here from Inspired. Jungle with the losing mid lane here, just going to try and rush Dragon, see if their bottom lane can get there enough DPS. They're gonna do it.
Wow.
Nice.
They sneak this off, they pull it off.
So bottom lane push early is enough DPS. They're gonna rotate over. Inspired gets it, Crab taken as well.
You can take FBI out 100 Thieves, but you can't take the Thief out of him, baby.
There you go, Inspired level 5 now, gonna go finish this as well. Takes away the control ward. Level 6 acquired for Maple though. Be careful about those invades. It's got flash advantage still over Jojo.
Yeah. All right, really huge pickup for EG. It's just getting that early Dragon helps stave off the pressure that is being felt from the jungle mid combo right now from TSM. still flashes are burned down off of Inspire and Jojopyun, so there's still this window. Maybe they're waiting for Bugi to hit level 6, and then after he hits it, immediately beeline bot lane.
You know, bot lane prowl thing, bailing EG out. That level 1 brush camp in the river from FBI and Vulcan. Still paying dividends. Pretty nice here with a 100 gold lead and the dragon for EG, despite all the fireworks around mid lane for TSM. And the hype for this big first Galio ultimate. EG pretty happy with the way things are going.
It's still just surprising to see like TSM just coming out with such a damn good start. But one of the things I think, talking with the players, especially in Chime in a recent interview with Nick Garrissey of Upcomer, a lot of it not only attributed to Chime, but also their manager Gwen, who both former pro players, they just understand what the team needs from them and to be the most efficient. And I mean, Chime is specifically like, hey, I know why people are doubting us, but the doubt needs to stop. Like, because we're a good team and we're going to surprise a lot of people this season.
TSM's wrath will be swift.
Hell yeah, baby.
Oh, these peasants thinking we aren't good. All right, Rift Trail does have a ward on it, but Inspired's level 6 now as well. Vi ultimate ready, and Bugi's still trying to get his level 6 off Raptor camp. There we go, gets it off the big Raptor. Bottom lane's not really moving up. Nami's ahead of Draven, so it's going to be an early arrival for the EG bottom lane. Draven trailing.
Clone in. Maybe go for the steal. 864s. Who got it? I don't know who claimed the Rift Herald, but the fight is still on. Hero's entrance just forces EG to back off, but they space it out. It looks like EG still claimed the Rift Herald, smitered away. They got to walk up. Ssumday is the one that claims it, and now Solo is left all by himself, but he all outs Inspired over the wall. Gets the flash, but he leaps right on over to the blast cone, and he's out of there.
A yoink right there. It is going to be the Rift Herald for Inspired, for EG. Draven stayed bottom lane though, so you see Neo pushing on the tower plates. How many will it cost? Here goes one for the Draven. Cannon wave into the tower as well, pushed out for him. No bloodshed though up there with the quick work on the flash.
Honestly surprising. I think they still technically had summoner advantage at that point, but not really to capitalize off it for TSM.
I like the move from EG though, you know, committing the bottom lane to rotate up here, because now some of the biggest danger for them has passed. Your first ultimate from Galio, from Wukong, and from Ksante resulted in no deaths on your team. That is really good for EG. And they were able to get the Rift Herald with winning the smite fight right there. In the hands of Ssumday is actually more ideal than Inspired going to pick up the eyeball.
Yeah.
Because you can just funnel extra gold and pushing power into the Gwen, which will match up so nicely versus this Ksante, who is, you know, since you value the Iceborne so much, he's actually still going for it, even though he's versed double AP solo lanes. So he is going to have a very painful time versus this Gwen with so much possible early power once you get her Rift Herald activation down. And does mean Jojo now on the rise. He's got the priority, has the roam, has flash, has realm warp advantage over the Galio ult.
And Jojo, maybe after that first death, sits up straighter in his chair and says, okay, I'm back. Second death is like, okay, guys, I'm gonna play for serious, I promise.
And I'd love to see him roam towards topside, so you can get a topside play into a Rift Herald play for Ssumday and get full value out of the turret plates. If you can bully down top lane and get this Gwen into a massive carry threat here, supercharge her items and especially take down that tower, open up the extra room.
Oh, Inspired's here. I mean, Bugi wants to make the play happen, but Inspired potentially reading the situation here for the counter. Depends on who commits first. I mean, Bubble's there. Bugi wants to go in, but great exhaust from Vulcan, and it's all an elaborate ruse, and the trap has been sprung by evil geniuses. But the damage for Bugi is a lot. It forces Inspired out. FBI trying to cull as much as he can. Not enough damage on either side from these teams. No one goes down in the fight.
Not quite yet. Mid laner's also meeting up in the river. Maple was able to stop the roam here from Jojo despite Realm Warp being used. So Jojo no longer has the Realm Warp to try and make the look topside, but Ssumday's doing it himself. Ssumday Gwen is chopping Solo down. Slowly but surely. Gets up to the tower again, and he's so low as well.
What is this?
This is the trailing port. Okay, so this is the play I wanted. The Ryze go to Ssumday's lane, make the hard play on the Rift Hill. Yes, get Ssumday super fed, ensure that they can take down the tower as well.
Recall.
Nice little hover from Jojo, even though his realm warp to bottom side did not work out.
B lines from Wukong and Nami too. And they know this dive is happening, but I don't know if they're gonna get there in time. I fear it's a little too late. Oh, here's entrance.
Nice.
And clutch shield from Solo. He lives.
Yeah, Magic Shield does save him in the end. They don't full commit here for EG seeing the Galio ult, but the turret plate is one more auto left. Jojo's gonna stick around as Ssumday goes to purchase.
Whew. Solo's thinking Maple after that one. Gotten so close to going down. Not quite first turret for Evil Geniuses, but still 2 minutes to go for a couple more plates. I mean, we've talked about it before. Solo is very okay with absorbing pressure, but already you don't want to get a Gwen this funnel going in the top side of the map.
I mean, especially if you can match up versus Ksante, stay there again. You would love to have one-on-one time with Solo since 50 armor, Iceborne, not going to do a lot versus the Riftmaker. And Solo's like, okay, I'm out. Let's go. Let's go to the dragon fight. Make sure we can try and start up this objective. It's like EG not going to let it go that easily, though. Ssumday, his teleport is ready. It's not unleashed, so would have to teleport to a tower. If he's, and there he is. He's coming.
Early
Ghost is ready.
Where's the flank angle? That's going to be the question here. FBI inspired and Vulcan on the right side. Jojopyun can be on the left side, but he has flash. Does he want to just realm warm in? No, he doesn't even have it. The fight is already happening on the bottom side of the map. Jojopyun is not in the fight yet, but it's okay because Evil Geniuses are cutting them beautifully. FBI gets to move on forward because Ssumday tanks up the takeout, and now FBI gets to step on forward. Looks for the triple, dash it in. It's a quadra kill for FBI.
And that's going to be the dragon as well for Evil Geniuses. They're happy to take the fight. Great. They ulted Ssumday into the team, and he's just in the middle, chopping him to bits as well. Inspired also getting out there from under the Wukong ultimate, living as well on the Vi means only one death for EG. Grabbing up the dragon, extending this lead. That's going to be the completion of the Radiant Virtue as well for Inspired, with that huge teamfight advantage now afterwards with all the healing, with the ability haste. Here's how it started out though. Jojo trying to get a little bit of poke onto Solo on the top side while the rest of the team moves up towards Dragon. Inspired flashes away to gain distance, and then since Bugi and the taunt here from Galio both used on Inspired, look at FBI and Ssumday ripping them apart.
Yeah.
Jojo completed the flank, so Inspired on this Vi, happy to absorb all of the early CC from TSM, meant that FBI, Ssumday, Jojo, ripped them apart. Smiles there from him. Even though he went down there on the last auto,
yeah,
still did his job.
Oh, and meanwhile, during the replay and Ssumday's smile cam, Solo is caught out here. Should be the easy Rift Herald pickup for Evil Geniuses. TSM trying to trade this pressure both mid lane and bottom side.
Solo tower gold for the level 11 Gwen.
Top
even though he has no kills, that's this very scary 0-1 Gwen. Gonna be able to push in as well.
Not a phrase you hear often, but
yeah,
you gotta believe it.
All right, bottom side match here for Jojo. Can he get there in time? Maple trying to answer, and he will be able to clear out the minion wave. So no answer here. No objective bounty shut down for TSM in response. Still no towers for them.
All right, we still got a few more minutes before the next dragon is up on the board, but at this point, just trading waves, and as EG continues to push their vision line further into the jungle, TSM.
And EG gets to push every single lane first. So
good God.
It's very painful for TSM when you get to continue to win the mid lane here with FBI and the Lucian. Excuse me.
I think Maple was caught, so he was like, help, 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 help.
Must have seen the bottom side here closing in on him. It's like, I'm out.
The walls are closing in, Kobe.
But yeah, so EG, they get to shove perma pressure mid lane, and their side lane pressure is unmatched with these two split pushing AP threats. Ssumday and Jojo, both fully operational.
Oh, this is going to be a thick gold advantage coming in. 2 turrets being taken swiftly. I mean, Solo's trying to make work on the other side of the map, but Evil Geniuses, they're strong enough that they can just make this dive happen. Ssumday dodges out most of it with the miss. I think Ssumday is going to go down once again, but, you know, Ssumday, I think it's all for the cause of getting more turret advantage off the map.
Okay, that was for just the cause of you think you're too strong right now. you think you're invincible because you're winning the game so much. Yeah, that was ill-advised. A little bit of an overextension right there. They always see the Ksante towards top, so they know that is a step too far, my friend. Gwen may be OP, but not that OP. And honestly, not even OP anymore. Just a good counter pick.
It's definitely not the glory days of Gwen where you could just blind pick her, flex her into 3 different lanes at some point, jungle and mid lane, and for some melee matchups.
Definitely still scales super well, though. So we'll get to the god status
Just
eventually
not right now.
here. Yeah, 5 stacks on Jojo's rod, a little bit ahead of Maple as well. Means that, guess what? The split pushing woes will continue for TSM as the Ryze and Gwen get right back out to the side lanes, and they continue to just starve them. Objective bounties on screen, just another vote for how far ahead they are at 17.5 minutes here for Evil Geniuses. 3K at this time period, pretty significant with Dragon number 3 coming up.
Yeah. We have another minute before Evil Geniuses can look for this next dragon. I mean, TSM, you got to get vision lined in there, otherwise you're not going to have access.
So, I gave the same hope in the last game to the Draven team, you know, about killing the Lucian with a big gold bounty.
Yep.
And it happened. You know, they had a Ksante, they ulted him, they assassinated him, did some Ksante things.
It's almost
so
like
I'm going to
we're
give
in
that same hope to TSM. You need to get that assassination on FBI, get that big sack of gold. That is a hope to try and get back into this one. Maybe if you can pick him off. There's also objective bounties up for the taking. So try and concentrate your efforts because you do have the tools to get the kill. Even though it's a fed champion, it is still a squishy champion. So Wukong ultimates into Galio ultimate. Draven just ults over the top. Hopefully he can like steal the money, you know, for the cash in with his execute, and try and fund their way to a winning team fight.
I mean, TSM already trying to fight for mid control. They're going to sack a little bit of the wave, but Evil Geniuses, it's only 1 minion. And right now, TSM getting first access into the river, into the pit. Control ward blocking out vision from Evil Geniuses. So now, Maple shadow guarding this bottom flank entrance, but Evil Geniuses just brute force their way in. Teleport is coming out now from Solo. But this is a 5-on-5 kind of team front to back, and Ssumday has a great flank angle. Watch for this, because if Maple cannot keep Ssumday out, there's going to be a lot of problems for TSM, as a giant scary doll is going to be cutting them down to size with these scissors.
It's going to come down to the smite fight.
Tidal wave, they go into Jojo, but can you get to FBI? You called it out before, Kobe. They're using all these tools, but no one is taking on FBI, and Ssumday has an all-access pass to the back line of TSM. They're getting cut down to size. This time, it's Ssumday's time to shine. Evil Geniuses wipe the floor with TSM.
Snip, snip, and goodbye, TSM. Evil Geniuses will win that team fight, pick up the dragon. They bolster their coffers, 5,000 now, the gold lead. Yeah, good luck keeping that Gwen out. Ssumday runs right in there, has the ghost, so it's even more fearsome. Good attempt from TSM as far as the combo, and they did take down one target, Jojo. You know, they're the Ryze after the flash was used as well.
But they're not getting to FBI, Kobe.
Yeah, they just don't have enough in the tank at this point. Don't have enough resources. So here's another look at it. Maple had eyes on Ssumday, but they go forward. They try and run away from the Gwen into the double carries.
Yeah.
FBI here does a good job. At the last second, he dashes out of the Galio range, so he's able to kite back. And then even though they take down the Ryze, Ssumday already chopping everybody up in the back line.
Just seeing even the tools from Inspired and Vulcan. As soon as Inspired sees Bugi commit with the Cyclone, instant ult reaction, Wild Growth as well, to make sure that everything is stopping TSM from getting access to FBI, because he's the only one, or one of the only ones, that has that massive bounty on him. And Evil Geniuses with the lead, 4,000 gold up. They feel confident to start up the Baron. Solo has taken a turn on the other side, but he has no teleport, so it's a 5-on-4 in advantage of Evil Geniuses. FBI has found Nia. You better open up, buddy, because FBI is here, coming in to clean up. Evil Geniuses once again gain control and advantage.
Yep, that's a 21-minute Baron right there, served up on a platter. The call from TSM is to get objective bounties, though. The call is never, oh, we're going to win a Baron fight. The call is, hey, Ksante is going to get these objective bounties. He got this one down here already. He's going for number 2. Continues on with this hard split push. Can we get a look at how close he is? Can he finish it off? Teleport coming down, should be able to finish it. One more night.
Oh,
that's 2 objective bounties at least for TSM. The call there is always, hey, we cannot win a team fight at Baron, so do your best to steal it. Good luck getting in there.
Yeah.
And I will split push and get objective bounties regardless. Best case scenario, hey, Bugi gets in, we get a magical flip on the Baron, and we would love, of course, to get
always love to see
a steal on that, but yeah, worst case, at least you still get the 2 towers in trade.
Uh-oh. Inspired saying, Bugi, this blue buff no longer belongs to you, my friend. This is my property now.
As is all of the TSM jungle. EG closing in on mid and bottom as well. Ssumday pushing up here. We'll catch up shortly. They finish off the camps, move out tower number 1. Maple gonna go for the recall on the Galio here, and he does have his ult plus flash available. Wonder if TSM can make a quick play. Ssumday is on the bottom side. If they could fight even 5 seconds of a team fight without Ssumday there for TSM would be glorious. Trying to get a 5-on-4 for 5 seconds, maybe you get an assassination on one of those targets.
Yeah, there are a couple wards on the top left flank here. Solo's TP is coming up. If Evil Geniuses overextend, maybe you can fish for something, give Maple an easy hero's entrance onto the backline as well. But I feel like that's really the only super viable option.
Yeah.
Because frontlining 5-5 has not been working.
At the very least, FBI does not have flash.
Okay. Q3 onto Jojopyun. I mean, he's still fine. I mean, once again, they commit tools onto Jojopyun, but no one is committing tools onto FBI. Tidal Wave comes in. Maple's hero's entrance doesn't connect onto the backline. And once again, the story is the same. TSM, yes, they find Jojo or they find Ssumday, but no one can find FBI. And if you can't take this guy out, you might as well F him.
Yep, you might as well open up, as you said, and they're going to open the door themselves. Evil Geniuses. Bottom tower will be paper. That thing is gone. Mid lane, the second one in their eyes.
Clean stuff from Evil Geniuses and strong bounce back after week 1. Kind of looking shaky in their 1-1 week. I know there's a lot of things that they have to work on, and something that we talked about at the top of the draft is how does this team look without Impact? Because we know that he does so much for them at being a leader out of the game.
I think people attribute a lot of the cleanliness, mid-game calls, late-game calls as well. So looking at how they're finishing this up, and FBI remaining legendary here, 8 kills to his name, deathless. Heal has come back up. Mikhail's has been finished by Vulcan, so they've got the safety for him.
Yeah.
He's able to stay on the outskirts, even though they do sacrifice Jojo most of the time. They're still able to get well worth Jojo's weight in gold.
I mean, FBI is having the time of his life right now. This is Deathless Lucian,
Solo
almost 10 kills. The calling, I mean, Solo might be able to get out, but this is...
Yeah, distract him. Run him on a race.
Hey guys, the guy's chasing me. You can farm mid and bot wave right now. It's okay.
The gargoyle stone plate keeps him alive.
Well, I feel like someone could go back and cue the Yakety Sax theme over that.
That is currently the most effective way to tank a Lucian.
True.
You gotta run him away.
Lure him away from the base.
Because you can't actually tank any shots, so you just gotta lead him on a chase.
That's what I'm saying, man. This engine knows what's up. FBI's Lucian is cracked.
This is what a lot of people were really high hopes for this EG roster. When you see the merge of last year's 100 Thieves, Ssumday and FBI, with this EG core that got to stay around, this is what people are envisioning, you know? The merge of especially FBI and Vulcan into one of the most fearsome bottom lanes. We'll keep our eyes on tracking his ascent back to the top of the tier list for AD carries.
Yeah.
How quickly, how powerfully Can they actually hold on to that position?
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Even talking with Jojopyun, one of Travis Gafford's recent interviews talked about, you know, how has it been adjusting with Ssumday and FBI? It's like, I mean, they're really good players. They came from 100 Thieves. They played against us in the finals, you know, they were there for a reason. And FBI, super funny, super awesome guy to work with outside of the game, but he just takes feedback and just wants to improve just as much. And I think FBI wants to show that he is one of the top ADCs in this league this year, as now TSM gonna make one last attempt at an engage, but they can't get onto the back line. And you know, I'm not gonna repeat myself, Kobe, you already know the story. TSM, they're gonna throw everything that they have in the tank. Do they actually have, oh, okay, wait, cast your curse, oh no! FBI is taken down, but I think there's still enough firepower from the rest of Evil Geniuses. They finally get FBI, but you gotta deal with the super minions pouring in through the mid wave, through the bottom wave. Evil Geniuses, just a couple more auto attacks and a few more hits. Nexus turret, one falls. The second Nexus turret will follow. And TSM, one last attempt to maybe defend, but now you're dealing with 3 open inhibitors.
Much better look from Evil Geniuses this time around. They're gonna finish it up with all the minions at the fountain as well. Can they
Oh
finish
my
another
god.
kill?
Casper relax. At the Q flash, they get a kill on Neo.
KDA.
Pad to KDA a little bit more. Evil Geniuses with the win.
Evil Geniuses cleaning it up here for week 2. Definitely better than the previous week. Jojo getting engaged on the majority of the time. FBI did go down once at the very end, but a nice snowball here for EG, pressuring ahead. No Death Spore inspired. The full tank Vi with the with the Radiant Virtue plus the Warmogs. Excessive amounts of health getting right in.